I was surprised that you were not cynical or guided at all, and things just moved really quickly. Brad Pitt just dropped a bombshell about George Clooney's divorce, and it's not the fairy tale Hollywood painted. Beneath the glamorous red carpets and lavish getaways, cracks had already formed, ones that even Clooney's charm couldn't fix. Conflicting ambitions, mounting tensions, and an unspoken truth lingered behind closed doors. But now Pitt is pulling back the curtain on what really went wrong, and his revelation is nothing short of jaw-dropping. Stay tuned, because once you hear what he said, everything will start making sense. Their marriage a symbol of elegance and sophistication. But when news of their divorce broke, the illusion crumbled overnight. Fans were in a frenzy. Tabloids dissected every moment of their relationship, and theories ran wild. Then came the unexpected twist: Brad Pitt. A Hollywood heavyweight in his own right decided to spill some behind-the-scenes secrets. And his revelation: it wasn't the usual whispers of irreconcilable differences or conflicting schedules. No, Pitt hinted at something far more scandalous. Something that could rewrite everything the world believed about Clooney's seemingly perfect marriage. If what Pitt claims is true, then Hollywood's golden couple may have been hiding a reality far removed from the polished image they projected. Were they truly the power duo the world admired? Or was their love story just another well-crafted illusion? Before diving into jaw-dropping revelation, let's rewind to where it all began. Because the truth behind this unraveling marriage is about to shake Hollywood to its core. From the moment George Clooney and Amal Alamuddin made their first public appearance together in 2013, the world was captivated. The silver-haired Hollywood bachelor, long known for his reluctance to settle down, had fallen for a brilliant human rights lawyer whose grace and intellect seemed perfectly suited for both red carpets and courtrooms. Their romance played out like a modern fairy tale, blending Hollywood glamour with the gravitas of international law. By their September 2014 wedding, their union was already iconic. The Venice ceremony was pure Hollywood. Amal dazzled in Oscar de la Renta, while George, ever the leading man, beamed by her side. With 100 elite guests ferried between lavish venues, the $4.6 million celebration radiated sophistication. As a power couple, they thrived. George dominated Hollywood with hits like Gravity, while Amal tackled high-profile legal battles. Whether in court or on set, their unwavering support and seamless blend of prestige and star power were undeniable. Their public appearances were a study of perfection. At the Met Gala, they embodied old Hollywood elegance. At human rights conferences, they projected intelligence and poise. In interviews, they struck a delicate balance between playful romance and mutual respect, George often joking that he married up, while Amal acknowledged their partnership with quiet confidence. Their natural chemistry sparked endless social media discussions about relationship goals, and even body language experts weighed in, concluding that their bond seemed genuine and deeply rooted. But their marriage wasn't just about glamour and prestige, it was also about purpose. Together, they launched the Clooney Foundation for Justice, channeling millions into global human rights efforts. George used his celebrity status to bring attention to crises like Darfur, while Amal represented Yazidi survivors of ISIS atrocities. Their philanthropic ventures blurred the lines between Hollywood and humanitarian work, as they hosted fundraisers at their Lake Como villa, seamlessly blending star-studded soirees with serious activism. From supporting Lebanese disaster relief to racial justice initiatives in the US, their joint efforts painted a picture of a couple deeply committed to making a difference. Yet beneath the carefully constructed image of perfection, subtle cracks were beginning to form. In June 2017, their lives changed forever with the arrival of twins Ella and Alexander. While their immense wealth afforded them every possible convenience, no amount of privilege could completely shield them from the universal challenges of first-time parenthood. At 56, George openly admitted that fatherhood was overwhelming, even joking about being an old dad. The transition to parenthood coincided with an intense period of professional obligations for both. Amal was in the midst of critical legal battles, while George's Hollywood commitments required constant travel. Initially, they seemed to navigate the demands of work and family with ease. They split their time between multiple luxurious residences, adjusting schedules to accommodate each other's careers. Private jets became their lifeline, allowing them to maintain their high-powered lifestyles across continents. Interviews painted a picture of balance. George spoke proudly of Amal's brilliance, and she in turn praised his unwavering support. But the juggling act took its toll. Their lavish homes spanning Lake Como, the English countryside, Los Angeles, and Manhattan became both symbols of their success and reminders of the complexity of their lives. The constant movement made true stability elusive. The fairy tale began to show signs of strain as Amal's absence from key Hollywood events raised eyebrows, while George missed crucial UN functions. Their once frequent date nights in Italy grew rarer, replaced by conflicting schedules and professional obligations. Observant fans noticed the shift. The playful intimacy in public appearances gave way to more formal interactions, their once effortless connection now requiring more effort to maintain. Enter Brad Pitt, George's longtime friend and Hollywood confidant. Their bromance, solidified during the Ocean's 11 era, had been the subject of endless media fascination. But when rumors of Clooney's marriage troubles surfaced, Pitt became an unexpected commentator. Having weathered his own highly publicized divorce, Pitt offered an inside look at the pressures that Hollywood power couples face. According to Pitt, the glossy magazine spreads never told the full story. Amal's world of courtrooms and international diplomacy operated on an entirely different rhythm from George's industry of movie sets and award circuits. While George thrived on social engagements, Amal preferred structure and order. The long periods apart transformed their marriage into a long-distance relationship, a setup that even the strongest couples struggle to maintain. And then there was the relentless media scrutiny. Every red carpet pose, every missed appearance, every moment of exhaustion caught by the paparazzi became fodder for speculation. Pitt didn't hold back. Hollywood itself was the real challenge. In a world obsessed with image, sustaining a genuine relationship under constant scrutiny is nearly impossible. Fame magnifies flaws, turning small conflicts into breaking points. The pressure to appear perfect while juggling ambitions and parenting took its toll on the Clooneys. Parenthood deepened their divide. Amal craved stability while George wrestled with spontaneity and fatherhood. The sacrifices of a high-profile marriage were immense, and even the most glamorous couples aren't immune to the strain. Still, if there was one thing Brad Pitt admired about Clooney, it was his dignity in handling the fallout. Even as whispers of separation grew louder, George remained tight-lipped. In a rare interview, he described his time with Amal as incredible and emphasized their commitment to co-parenting. It was a masterclass in maintaining grace under pressure, a stark contrast to the explosive breakups Hollywood was known for. Their story, in the end, served as a sobering reminder. No relationship, no matter how seemingly perfect, is immune to real-life struggles. The world may have placed them on a pedestal, but at their core, George and Amal were just two people trying to navigate love, family, and ambition in the unforgiving spotlight of fame. Few people know George Clooney as well as Brad Pitt. Their friendship, spanning over 2 decades, has been built on shared movie sets, inside jokes, and late-night conversations about life beyond Hollywood. It's a bond that has withstood the pressures of fame, making Brad one of George's closest confidants. But as time passed, Brad found himself watching a shift in his friend, one that wasn't visible to the cameras. Their friendship began in 2001 on the set of Ocean's 11, where their easy banter and playful pranks quickly became the stuff of Hollywood legend. Off-screen, they shared more than just an understanding of the industry. They talked about love ambition and the struggle to balance personal happiness with the demands of fame. Brad had a front-row seat to George's transformation from the world's most eligible bachelor to a devoted husband and father. For years, George's marriage to Amal Alamuddin, an accomplished human rights lawyer, seemed like the perfect Hollywood fairy tale, the charming movie star and the brilliant barrister living a glamorous life between Los Angeles, London, and Lake Como. But behind the carefully curated public image, Brad began noticing subtle changes. During intimate gatherings at George's villa in Italy, Brad observed how the couple's conversations became more formal, their effortless chemistry replaced by something more structured. The playful teasing that once characterized their relationship seemed rehearsed, as if they were performing rather than truly enjoying each other's company. At first, Brad dismissed it as the natural evolution of marriage, but over time, the signs became harder to ignore. The first real moment of concern came during a weekend at Brad's French chateau. George and Amal arrived separately, a minor detail, but one that spoke volumes. They moved around each other like two distant stars in different orbits. The warmth was still there, but it was tempered by something unspoken. Brad, having lived through the slow unraveling of his own marriage to Angelina Jolie, recognized the pattern. At first, it wasn't obvious, Brad later reflected. But looking back, you could see it, how they started making separate plans, how their priorities slowly began pulling them in different directions. Amal took on more cases in Europe. George extended his stays in Los Angeles. The perfect synchronization of their early years started to fade. Brad found himself caught between concern for his friend and an understanding of the pressures that come with being in the public eye. He knew all too well how the world demanded a performance, turning private moments into a public spectacle. Every dinner became a headline, and every decision was analyzed under a magnifying glass. It changes you, Brad admitted. It changes your relationship. You start living not just for each other, but for the audience watching you. The whispers of trouble in George's marriage weren't just about their busy schedules or the weight of fame. Something, or rather someone, had caught George's attention, and Brad saw it happening in real time. He wasn't the only one who noticed. The shift in George's demeanor, the way his focus seemed to drift, it all pointed to something deeper, something unexpected. Who was this mysterious presence that had captured George Clooney's interest? And what did it mean for the future of his marriage? Stay with us, because this revelation will leave you stunned. Friendships in Hollywood are about as stable as a box office bomb. Here today, gone tomorrow. Red carpet smiles, over-the-top award show speeches, and promises of lifelong loyalty often fade the moment the cameras stop rolling. Egos clash, schedules conflict, and soon enough, the best friend of 1 year is a distant memory by the next. But somehow George Clooney and Julia Roberts have defied the odds. For over 2 decades, their bond has survived the ever-changing tides of Hollywood, outlasting fleeting alliances and short-lived co-star pairings. While most on-screen friendships fizzle out the moment the director yells, "Cut," theirs has only grown stronger. It all started in 2000 on the set of Ocean's 11, a film packed with A-list talent. You'd think two megastars like Clooney and Roberts would keep their distance, circling each other like wary competitors. But from the very start, they hit it off. Platonically, of course. Clooney, always quick with a clever soundbite, once joked that their friendship was an effortless connection, one that led them to a professional partnership spanning decades. From Ocean's 12 to Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, from Money Monster to Ticket to Paradise, their projects have been laced with their signature witty banter, half charm, half sarcastic eye rolls. Critics call it undeniable chemistry, skeptics call it two A-listers cashing in on an easy formula. Either way, it worked. Audiences bought into their dynamic, and their collaborations became more than just movies. They became an extension of their off-screen friendship. But what really keeps their connection alive isn't just what happens in front of the camera. It's the endless pranks, the inside jokes, and the genuine camaraderie that exists behind the scenes. Clooney, Hollywood's self-appointed king of practical jokes, met his match in Roberts, who has never been one to back down from an on-set prank war. Co-stars and crew members have often found themselves caught in the crossfire victims of their mischievous antics. Is it a sign of true friendship, or simply a way to pass the time during the long, repetitive hours on set? Either way, it keeps the headlines coming. While Clooney spent years convincing the world he was a lifelong bachelor, that narrative took a sharp turn in 2014 when he shocked fans by marrying Amal Alamuddin, an accomplished human rights lawyer. By 2017, he was a father to twins, a far cry from his previous jet-setting, commitment-free lifestyle. Meanwhile, Roberts has navigated her own roller coaster ride of fame, balancing the highs of critical acclaim with the occasional career misstep. Not every film could be Pretty Woman, after all. Through it all, Clooney remained her biggest cheerleader, always ready to gush about her talent, her humor, or whatever compliment made for a good headline that day. In return, Roberts has called him her favorite co-star more times than can count, ensuring their brand as Hollywood's most beloved platonic duo remains intact. But even the strongest friendships aren't immune to Hollywood's favorite pastime drama. When rumors of trouble in Clooney's marriage began making the rounds, it didn't take long for Roberts' name to get dragged into the speculation. Did she break her silence on the supposed marital struggles? Was she caught in the crossfire of, or was it just another case of Hollywood's rumor mill spinning a tale out of thin air? Regardless of the truth, one thing is certain. Clooney and Roberts' friendship, no matter how solid, isn't exempt from the entertainment industry's never-ending thirst for intrigue. What makes their bond even more remarkable is how rare it is in an industry driven by fierce competition. Hollywood has never been known as a place where actors root for each other. More often than not, they're battling for the same roles, the same awards, the same status. But Clooney and Roberts have largely avoided this trap, their careers following distinct paths that rarely intersect. Clooney has mastered the role of Hollywood's suave, debonair leading man, while Roberts has remained America's sweetheart, even as her roles have evolved over time. Their lack of direct competition has likely helped preserve their friendship, eliminating the jealousy and rivalry that so often poison long-term Hollywood relationships. Still, their friendship hasn't been completely free of public scrutiny. Clooney's shift into family life has often been juxtaposed with Roberts' more private approach to motherhood, leading to unfair comparisons about how they balance their personal and professional lives. It's an exhausting, outdated narrative, one that pits men and women against each other based on unrealistic expectations. But through it all, Clooney and Roberts have managed to sidestep most of the pitfalls that doom other Hollywood friendships. Their dynamic is built on more than just nostalgia. It's a well-oiled marketing machine. Every project they collaborate on is sold not just as a film, but as a continuation of their iconic off-screen friendship. Moviegoers aren't just buying tickets for the plot, they're buying into the story of George and Julia, the golden pair, who against all odds have remained unshaken by the chaos of Hollywood. I love George. I just love him. Their friendship isn't just about camaraderie, it's a brand. And in an industry where image is everything, that's perhaps the biggest reason why their bond has endured for over 2 decades. But here's the question. Is their friendship a genuine bond? Or has it evolved into a carefully curated Hollywood brand? The answer might change everything you thought you knew. So keep watching. The contrasting worlds of a Hollywood darling. Julia Roberts has long been America's sweetheart. her megawatt smile lighting up screens and cementing her place as one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. But behind the effortless charm is a woman who has mastered the art of longevity in an industry that rarely grants it. And at her side, in more ways than one, has been George Clooney, a fellow A-lister, whose friendship with Julia has weathered decades of Hollywood's ever-changing tides. Their bond, forged on the set of Ocean's 11 in 2001, isn't just another surface-level celebrity alliance built on red carpet appearances and well-rehearsed sound bites. Clooney and Roberts have a chemistry that extends far beyond the silver screen. Their playful jabs at each other, their effortless banter in interviews, and their shared ability to laugh at the absurdity of fame have made them one of Hollywood's most endearing duos. Unlike so many industry friendships that fizzle out once the cameras stop rolling, theirs has only grown stronger. But before Julia became the kind of actress who could command $20 million a film, she was just a girl from Smyrna, Georgia, raised in a world where storytelling was second nature. Born in 1967 to actor parents Betty Lou and Walter Roberts, she grew up surrounded by the theatrics of the stage. Her parents ran the Atlanta Actors and Writers Workshop, a breeding ground for creative minds. So it was no surprise when Julia set her sights on Hollywood. Her road to stardom wasn't instant. After a forgettable TV debut in Crime Story in 1987, and an equally forgettable film, Satisfaction, in 1988, Julia finally found her breakout moment with Pretty Woman in 1990. The film, a modern Cinderella story about a charismatic escort and a wealthy businessman, catapulted her into superstardom. While the role wasn't exactly groundbreaking, audiences couldn't get enough of her infectious energy and undeniable screen presence. Julia Roberts wasn't just an actress. She had become a phenomenon. Over the next decade, she solidified her reign as the queen of romantic comedies, starring in box office hits like My Best Friend's Wedding in 1997 and Notting Hill in 1999. But it was Erin Brockovich in 2000 that proved she wasn't just a rom-com darling. She was a powerhouse performer, capable of delivering Oscar-worthy performances. The role earned her an Academy Award and a new level of respect in Hollywood. It was around this time that she crossed paths with George Clooney. By 2001, Clooney was already a household name, having transitioned from his ER days to full-fledged movie stardom. Their first collaboration, Ocean's 11, wasn't just a career highlight. It was the beginning of a friendship that would become one of Hollywood's most enduring. We became like instant friends. Yeah. They reunited for Ocean's 12 in 2004 and continued their on-screen magic with Money Monster in 2016 and Ticket to Paradise in 2022, where their natural chemistry carried the film more than the plot itself. Their friendship has thrived because they both understand the game. Hollywood is filled with fleeting relationships, but Clooney and Roberts have found a way to stay grounded in a world that constantly tries to pull people apart. They poke fun at their own fame, making fun of each other at award shows, roasting one another in interviews, and engaging in legendary pranks that have become the stuff of Hollywood folklore. But beyond the laughs, there's something deeper. Their bond is built on mutual respect, an understanding of what it means to be at the top of the industry, and the rare ability to maintain a sense of normalcy in an otherwise surreal world. Julia has been one of the few people Clooney trusts enough to share both the highs and lows of his life, especially when it comes to his personal relationships. For years, George's love life was a favorite topic of speculation. Before Amal Alamuddin entered the picture, he had built a reputation as Hollywood's most committed bachelor. But even after settling down, the scrutiny never stopped. Julia, always diplomatic, never added fuel to the fire, but that didn't stop people from reading between the lines. Any comment she made, no matter how harmless, was dissected, analyzed, and turned into tabloid fodder. Meanwhile, Julia's personal life has been relatively low-key. She's been married to cinematographer Daniel Moder since 2002, and together they have 3 children. Unlike many of her Hollywood peers, she's managed to keep her private life just that private. While she still takes on projects including Leave the World Behind and narrating Lisa Marie Presley's memoir, her priorities have clearly shifted towards family over fame. Despite her stable personal life, Clooney's connections still sparks buzz. Their rare, enduring friendship has withstood an industry that often destroys relationships. They've navigated career highs and personal struggles while keeping things real. But lately, subtle tension has emerged. Some speculate George's evolving life has shifted their bond, while others whisper about a new unspoken dynamic. Neither Julia nor George has addressed it, but something has changed. So what do you think about Brad Pitt's revelation? Are George and Julia's newfound romance just a strategy to stay relevant, or have they truly found something different? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.